So you have 12 home runs leading off the game going back to last year. What's your mindset leading off the game? It's like Ricky Henderson-like.
Yeah, I understand that I'm just kind of hitting first because that's how it works for our team. I lead off the game as if I'm leading off the fifth inning. There's a certain dynamic to if I would swing, if I wouldn't swing. I'm not your stereotypical small guy that can control the bat a lot. I like to drive the ball. So if I can drive the ball to start the game, kind of get to second base or first base, or hit one out, it's hopefully it sparks our offense.
Now your mom and dad both UConn grads like you. And your mom specifically was a great gymnast.
Yeah.
She taught you everything there is about gymnastics. You even do the Ozzie Smith flip.
Yeah.
For a guy that's so athletic, I always say you could have been a safety in the NFL. Why did you choose baseball when you could play any sport?
It's just kind of what I gravitated to. There was something about it that I loved, and then in my hometown, we had the AA team for the Twins, and that was kind of the only sports team that was there. So I got a chance to go watch, Torii Hunter, David Ortiz, AJ Pierzynski, Doug Menke, all those guys that went through that organization. I got a chance to watch them play as a kid, as an 8, 9-year-old, and it looked like fun. So I stuck with it, and I'm glad I did.
Now, speaking of Torii Hunter, who's a great friend and one of the all-time best, tell me about the time you played catch with him. What impact did that make with you?
Oh yeah, I was 8 years old, and so our thing was, let's go behind the fence and let's wait for the home run balls to get hit, and then let's steal them and go to the park and play baseball.
Okay.
So one day I was at the stadium, we hit the home run balls, and we got into the stadium, I don't know how, why, and I was on the sideline, and he was out in right field, and he just looked at me and said, "Hey kid, catch," and he threw it to me. I caught it and I threw it back, and then we started playing catch. And at that point in time, to me, that's a big leaguer. I didn't know any different, so I decided that I wanted to be like that guy. So I started to watch this guy, Torii Hunter, play. I wanted to play like him. I wanted to do everything he did. So, he didn't know it, but at that point in time, he changed my life, and I was 8 years old. I wanted to be out on that field in New Britain, Connecticut, like he was, and I look back on it now, and it's just a complete honor, to see that.
It's interesting you say about him kind of paying it forward and making a big impact in your life. You're doing the same thing for hundreds of thousands of kids out there. You are the ultimate comeback story, right? Where you struggled with your stuttering, and now you are the spokesman for SAY. Can you talk about why that means so much to pay it forward for the next generation?
Yeah, because one, I went through it. I've experienced twice what all these kids and adults are going through, and it's something that doesn't really get talked about because it happens and you laugh at it. It's funny. You stutter and you're like, all right, cool. But for that 8-year-old kid, that 9-year-old kid who's scared to talk in class, or scared to show their personality, it's sad and it's isolating. It can be debilitating to a lot of people. So my message goal is to say, it doesn't matter who you are, what you do. It doesn't matter if you stutter or not. Don't let anything stop you that you can't control from being who you want to be. And if I can change one kid's life, that's the goal. And it's most important thing to me is I've gone through it, so I know what's being experienced.
That's awesome. Now let's go have a little fun over here.
All right.
We're going to talk about one of the biggest turns of events I've seen in World Series, and I've pretty much seen probably the last 30 World Series, and I was right here, not on the field with you, but you were sitting right here. I'm going to take you to the scene of the crime. I want you to describe to us exactly what you saw coming in. Take the folks at home and give them a little bit of insight of what's going on in your mind. As you go for the ball, you miss it, and you go from being the GOAT to the hero in a matter of minutes.
Right.
And then obviously we're going to get to the home run you hit. But kind of take us to what you were thinking when you went to the ball.
So I was actually, if I remember correctly, I was about over here because Bellinger was up. He can drive the ball. So I was kind of over this direction, playing back more, because you don't want that guy on first to score. So I knew the situation. I knew, like what I wanted to do. So he hits it, and it's a ball where I'm playing back, but I know I can get to it. I've gotten to it 1,000 times.
Can I get one of the cameras behind so we can see what he's looking at, please? Going forward. Okay.
Right. So I'm looking forward. I'm about here. I'm kind of off angle this way. It gets hit. I instantly break in, and now as I'm going down, I know that it's a ball that either I'm going to have to pull up now and block it, or I'm going to have to dive for it. So as I start to go into here to prepare myself to dive, I start to see that this ball is carrying, and it's coming to me because he hit it well.
So now you have a chance.
So now I know I have a chance. So I didn't have time to do what I wanted to do, which is dive like this. If I had dove like this, the ball either goes, it hits me here, stays here, but I decided that right here, because the ball was still coming, I dove this way, and it shorts me by about this much, and it goes by you, and the only thing I could think is, oh no.
Oh God.
Like, I made the wrong decision, because I know I have to keep the ball in front of me. So I'm about right here. The ball gets by me. I look back, and there's nothing but
oh my God.
Just that. It's just green grass. But Marwin comes. He picks up the ball, and I'm standing about right in the same spot with my head down, like, I made a bad decision. But it's tough, because those are balls where if I don't, in my heart, if I don't go for it, and I just stop and it short hops me here, and I just do this, I'm going to believe that I could have caught it. So I went in this way as opposed to that way. And then three minutes later.
I want you to get back to your position.
All right.
Now we're going to go all the way back. I mean, folks, this is a long ways he has to cover. So now you come back.
Right, so I'm over here.
Take me to your mindset as now the game progressing. What's George telling George and saying, like, oh,
right.
How do I get back here?
George, I am out here saying to myself, right, I've got my head like this, strike one, ball one. And the only thing I can think of, I can remember, was I was going like this, because I knew that if we lose this game, we lose the World Series, it's because of this play. So I'm sitting out here, and I'm just like, please get out of this inning without any additional damage. Somehow, some way.
Couple prayers.
Right, like please, Lord, help me with this one. I know I made a bad play, but it wasn't because I wasn't trying. So I'm sitting out here, and the worst part about it was I knew I had to lead off the next inning. So we get the out, I'm running in, and the only thing I can think of is, like, I can't believe that just happened. Like, I've made that play 1,000 times in my life, and the one time I don't is Game 5 of the World Series, which could cost us a chance to win it. So I go into the dugout, and at that point in time, you can't feel sorry for yourself, but I was. Mm-hmm. So I'm putting my stuff on.
And the score is at this time?
The score is 8-7 LA in the 7th inning or whatever it was. And our team knew that team had a great bullpen. Mm-hmm. So at that point in time, it's like, who knows? It might be hard to score. It might not be. So I'm putting on my gloves, just kind of deflated. Yeah. And Alex Cora, he comes up to me and says, you know what? Don't worry about it. Who cares? It's like, all right, cool.
Wow.
AJ Hinch, he does the same thing. And then I'm on deck, and Gary Pettis walks by me, and he said, don't worry about a thing. Just go, hit the ball. You get to first base. And I was kind of like, all right, cool. Like, I got it. Yeah. Like, all right, you know what? Because at that point in time, everyone was assuring me that it's not for effort. It's not for a lack of effort that I didn't catch the ball. Right. So, walking up to home plate, and the only thing I can think of is I have to get to first base. I don't care what I do. If I have to headbutt this ball, I have to get to first base. And the next thing I know, I go into my load, and the only thing I remember, honestly, is hearing the sound of the bat and seeing kind of right in this angle the ball come off my bat, and it, like, the weight came off my shoulder. I saw it go. I get back down into the tunnel area, and the only thing I could do at that point in time was sit down and just put my head in my hands, like I don't know what just happened, because I went from about as low as I've ever been on a field to about as high as I could go. You know, I was the reason why our team was down 8-7, and now I just, you know, I tied the game with one swing. So it's just a complete emotional up, down, down, up, but it kind of all started right in this area.
That's awesome. I got one more for you, George.
All right.
So, last one, Andy. So, 2011, you were the first pick for the Houston Astros. Obviously, it's been an incredible pickup for them. There's thousands of kids out there in America, nervous, won't be able to sleep tonight. Give them a message as tomorrow's a draft. What message can you tell those young people out there?
Enjoy it. You know, your life is about to change dramatically. You're about to get a chance to play out your dream. You know, everybody dreams of playing a professional baseball, and I don't care what anybody says. It doesn't matter if you're the first overall pick or the last pick. You're just another guy out there that has a chance, and enjoy it. You know, and enjoy the day with your family, friends. Have fun, and you know, I hope that everybody's dreams come true and can experience the stuff that I've gotten a chance to.
Awesome. Thanks, brother.
Yes,
great job.
You're good.
This guy's made for this. Give him a job.
That's it. In 20 years.
Exactly.
Yeah. 20. Hopefully, I can keep this one for a little bit.
Hey, George. As we walk in, guys, keep that camera running. I got one more to ask him about Cora.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you if there's one nugget that you can tell me why he was so great, or one lesson.
Yeah.
So tonight, you'll be facing Alex Cora. I know he played a big role with this championship run last year as a bench coach. Can you tell us, a little bit about him and one or two great lessons that you learned, what makes him such a great baseball man? Yeah,
you know, I mean, I think first and foremost, you know, he understands the game. He played the game for a long time, so he understands how hard it is to play this game. You know, he understands that us as players, we're not trying to go out there and fail. We're trying to succeed. So, you know, he wanted us to have as much fun as what we possibly could and just kind of enjoy the game. And he was very, very personable with us. You know, he knows his players. He knows what makes them work, what doesn't, and that goes a long way with us. You know, to have somebody who's invested in us. You know, ask us how we're doing. You know, how's our families? You know, how's our off-field life? That goes a long way. And you know, I can see it over there. You know, that these guys are playing great baseball because they have a guy that understands. You know, understands them, understands how hard it is to play this game, and just wants you to have fun.